Could one of the biggest stars in basketball actually walk away from the team that drafted her? Just a few months ago, that idea would have sounded ridiculous. Now, it's becoming one of the hottest debates in the sport. Everywhere you look, fans are connecting the dots. Analysts are asking tough questions. And one team keeps finding its way into the conversation: the Los Angeles Sparks. Nothing has been confirmed, and there is no official trade on the table. But when you look at everything that's happened around Caitlin Clark this season, it's easy to understand why so many people believe something bigger could be brewing. The conversation didn't start because someone randomly posted a rumor online. It started because the Sparks have quietly been making moves that caught everyone's attention. Their new head coach, Lynn Roberts, didn't come to Los Angeles to oversee another rebuilding season. After spending years turning Utah into one of the toughest programs in college basketball, she accepted the challenge of bringing one of the WNBA's most recognizable franchises back to relevance. From the moment she arrived, every decision seemed focused on building a team that could compete sooner rather than later. That alone wasn't surprising. What surprised people was the type of players the Sparks started bringing in. The biggest move that got everyone talking was adding Kate Martin to the roster. On paper, it looked like a solid basketball decision. Martin had already proven she belonged in the league, and she brought energy, toughness, and leadership. But fans immediately noticed something much bigger. Martin wasn't just another player. She spent years playing beside Caitlin Clark at Iowa, helping build one of the most successful partnerships in college basketball. Their chemistry wasn't something you create overnight. They already understood each other's game, trusted one another, and had been through some of the biggest moments of their careers together. That's when social media exploded. Fans started asking whether the Sparks were simply adding a talented role player or laying the foundation for something much bigger in the future. Nobody inside the organization has said they're chasing Clark, but the timing has people wondering. When a franchise begins collecting familiar faces connected to the league's biggest superstar, speculation naturally follows. And that was only the beginning. At the same time the Sparks appeared to be building toward the future, things in Indiana became increasingly complicated. The Fever entered the season with high expectations. They had one of the most exciting young rosters in basketball and the player responsible for bringing record television ratings and sold-out arenas across the league. Expectations couldn't have been higher. But instead of talking only about wins and losses, headlines kept focusing on controversy. One moment, in particular, sparked endless debate. During a game, television cameras caught Kate. The biggest reason this story refuses to disappear is because it isn't really about one game, one foul, or even one season. It's about leverage. For the first time since entering the league, people are asking a question that almost nobody imagined a year ago. If Caitlin Clark continues carrying the league while dealing with constant controversy, how long before another franchise starts presenting a better alternative? That question alone has kept the rumor mill alive. Even though there is no confirmed trade discussion between Indiana and Los Angeles, the timing is what makes everything so fascinating. The Sparks aren't simply trying to rebuild, they're trying to become relevant again. Los Angeles is one of the biggest sports markets in the world, yet the franchise has spent the last few seasons searching for its next superstar. With Cameron Brink returning from injury, Kelsey Plum bringing veteran leadership, and several promising young players developing together, the roster suddenly looks far more attractive than it did not long ago. Add a generational passer like Clark to that group, and fans can't help imagining what that offense could look like. That's why every move the Sparks make gets analyzed through a different lens. A new signing isn't just a signing anymore. Every coaching decision becomes another clue. Every roster adjustment fuels another round of speculation online. Whether those theories are right or wrong almost doesn't matter at this point because the conversation has taken on a life of its own. Meanwhile, Indiana finds itself under enormous pressure. The Fever know exactly what they have. Clark isn't simply their best player, she's the biggest attraction in women's basketball. Arenas sell out when she visits. Television ratings jump whenever she plays. Merchandise flies off the shelves. Losing someone with that level of influence would be almost impossible to replace. That's why many analysts believe the organization's biggest challenge isn't just building a championship roster. It's creating an environment where its franchise player feels she can accomplish everything she wants without ever considering another destination. The front office understands that championships aren't won overnight. Young teams make mistakes. Coaches experiment with rotations. Players develop at different speeds. But fans don't always have patience, especially when every setback, involving the league's biggest star, becomes a national headline. Every loss creates new criticism. Every questionable substitution becomes another debate show topic. Every injury sparks another wave of concern. Through all of it, Clark has remained remarkably consistent in public. She hasn't demanded changes. She hasn't criticized teammates. She hasn't hinted at wanting out. Instead, she's continued saying the right things, supporting her teammates, respecting her coaches, and emphasizing that the focus should remain on basketball. That professionalism may actually be won